What up, guys? We could get into it. We could get right. That's right. Hey man, say man, this the motherfucking God, cosmic, chaos, light, being, master teacher, master student, DeMarco. you new to the page, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you can become part of the notification gang on the game. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the gods and the goddesses watching this. Shout out to everybody tuning the fuck in. I know it's been a minute. I know it's been a motherfucking minute. Hold on, bear with me. It's been a motherfucking minute. It's been a goddamn minute. Hold on, we're gonna start right here. Last video I dropped was about 2 months ago. They fuck around and gave me a fucking strike. I don't know if the strike gone yet or what have you or whatever. But I'm black at your ass with another video. Pause. And we're gonna get straight into it. We're gonna get straight the fuck into the bullshit.
The Department of Homeland Security conducting a raid at a house in Holmby Hills, believed to be connected to Sean Combs, the rapper and music executive, perhaps being linked to a sex trafficking investigation. Let's go live to Stu Mandel up in Skyfox right now for more. Stu, what do we know?
Yeah, I heard her say we're live. Copy.
There you see Skyfox overhead of this home where, again, we are seeing Department of Homeland Security investigators doing a this home now. Let's go to Haley Winslow, who's live on the ground right there. Haley, what do we know?
Sandra, this is going to turn into a huge scene that is going to be an all-day thing, and it involves, yes, P. Diddy. The home is actually registered to Bad Boy Films, which is a division of Bad Boy Entertainment, basically his company, and the home's registered to that and to his daughter. Now, from Skyfox, Stu up there, he got some shots of a few people coming out of the home. Those people have been detained. Now, we're trying to still connect the dots. We do have some sources on scene here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say, less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up this street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats and law enforcement. And on the other side of those bushes, basically, is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films, which is part of Bad Boy Entertainment. And the home in particular is registered not only to Bad Boy Films, but to one of P. Diddy's daughters. Now, we are hearing from law enforcement sources that this involves sex trafficking, but we don't yet know to what extent or the details about that. But you better believe we will be on this all day, keeping you updated with the.
Hold on, bear with me.
Combs has been no stranger to controversy, especially as of late, having had several sexual assault allegations lodged against him in recent months. Late last year, Combs made headlines when performer Cassie Ventura filed a bombshell complaint against Combs, accusing him of some seriously heinous stuff. I'm including sex trafficking, rape, forcing her to take drugs, beating her, forcing to have sex with male prostitutes, as he recorded. The list goes on and on and on. And while that case actually settled out of court, there were several more individuals who came forward accusing Combs of similar acts. This includes 2 women who allege that Combs assaulted them in the early 90s, an unnamed Jane Doe who's alleging that Combs, along with his friends, raped her when she was 17 years old. And then you have a male recently filing a lawsuit claiming unwanted sexual harassment from Combs. But his team is fighting back, recently filing that this unnamed woman must reveal her identity before the case can proceed. The woman will remain anonymous until the judge rules on that motion. Now, Diddy and his legal team additionally continue to deny all other claims against him, but this is big. Joining me right now is Tracy Walder. She is a former FBI special agent, former CIA agent, News Nation national security contributor, and I'm also joined by Misty Maris, trial attorney and legal analyst who's been following the case. Great to have you both here. Tracy, this is huge, right?
Well, it's good to see you, Jesse. Yes, it is huge in that really this isn't the start of an investigation. This is I don't want to say the end of the investigation because clearly he's innocent until proven guilty. But this is a point at which there is more than enough to now bring in the federal authorities. So really, this group that came in to conduct this investigation is HSI. So they're part of the Department of Homeland Security, and they are the investigative arm. So they're investigating really transnational crime, transnational syndicates, as well as sex trafficking. And it's my guess that that is why they were involved in this.
Okay, so Misty, let me turn it to you. This was a warrant from the Southern District of New York. I want to pull up number 2 if we can. This is a source familiar with the situation told NBC that 3 women and 1 man have been interviewed in New York by federal authorities in connection to a probe involving sex trafficking, sexual assault, solicitation and distribution of illegal narcotics and firearms related to Combs, who's also known as Diddy, Puff Daddy, and P. Diddy. Now, I've read those prior lawsuits. A lot of that is very consistent. What are you taking away from what they're doing here?
Yeah, this is obviously looking into federal crimes. And this is an investigation that has definitely been put together meticulously, coordinated efforts in 2 different states coming out of the Southern District of New York. So this says that there's more, Jesse, than what we've read in civil complaints. That's not going to be enough for probable cause to go in, get a warrant, and conduct a raid. There's going to be those witness interviews, but my guess would be there's more than just that.
Tracy, I have to imagine this was not just they announced a raid or did a raid on a nice sunny day in both Miami and Los Angeles. The timing of this matters. Do you think it was they wanted to make sure? And by the way, we don't know if Combs is in custody or not, if he's not in the country or what. Why do you think they chose right now? What do you think they're looking for in the House right now?
So typically at the FBI, when we would do these simultaneous raids conducted at really exactly the same time, was because we don't want evidence destroyed. We don't want people being tipped off. And it's my opinion, again, I'm just hypothesizing. I don't know the details, but it's my opinion that's why this was conducted simultaneously at exactly the same time. Because 100% of the time, that's why we did that at the FBI. And so really, I think this is about evidence destruction. Of course, I want him in custody if there's a warrant out for his arrest. But I think the preservation of that evidence was issue number 1 for this group.
Misty, I got to believe the timing of this has to be related to those lawsuits. Out of all the time, because they were alleging conduct from years ago. So the fact...
Nah. We all know these celebrities be with the sick shit. They got to throw Diddy out there as the fall guy. Right? We know all these celebrities ain't who they portray to be. Plus that music industry, it gets foul in that music industry. Right? It gets foul. Let's see, Diddy is the lesser guy to the whole ordeal. Like R. Kelly said, you really got motherfuckers that's really sex trafficking and they on chains and shit. Underground and shit. Men, women, and children. Especially the so-called black race. We are the number 1 preyed upon, the number 1 trafficked people in the world, Craig. And what we looking at is a distraction to the higher up officials or the higher up group of the motherfuckers that so-called run the world. We know all these celebrities with the shit. Rappers, entertainers, sports ball players. And it's a distraction for many reasons. You see how it's being, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Not because we gonna take it as that he is a top celebrity in the music biz. But you don't see the real traffickers being broadcasted. See, they gonna get everybody that was on the Epstein Island. Like I say, in plenty videos and numerous videos that I did. A lot of these motherfuckers have already been arrested and executed. See, we in the times of where the celebrity worship bullshit is over with. We all know the world is a stage. You know what I'm saying? This is a big ass Truman Show with deceit and deceptions. And when you break down this shit, right? When you break down this shit, everything lines up and everything adds up. So they basically started bringing this shit out yesterday or some shit like that. Now, let's go right here. Hold on. I want the actual date on this motherfucker. Okay, there we go right there. Let me pull it up. Humble One, what's up, God? What up, Branches? Let's go right here. Let's go. We're gonna go right here, over here in this area right here. We're gonna go over here in this area right here. We're gonna go to the Notorious B.I.G. CD that was remastered in 2014. Now let's equate this to the news and the propaganda that we seeing unfold right before our eyes. You know how we used to, like in class, goddammit, they used to say read out loud. While you read out loud, we gonna all read together. Class is in motherfucking section. In session. Class in motherfucking session. Now I'm gonna read this and you read along with me so we can see what the fuck going on and how all of this coincides with each other, how everything is related, and to let you know that they put this story out there to put it out there for distraction. They been knew all the sick shit and the homosexual shit that Diddy was into. Everybody know that. You ain't got to be a motherfucking rocket scientist to know. I would play the goddamn Cat Williams special from when he was telling us about those goddamn parties, the mansion parties. And then it just don't be Diddy mansion parties. You got Elon Musk parties, your Bill Gates parties, your royalty, Queen Elizabeth, King Charles them parties. You got your Rockefeller parties. You got your goddamn Rothschild's party. Your big the motherfucker that signed Diddy. Your Atlantic's Records parties. Now let's read this, right? You know, when motherfucker got glass, they got the goddamn, motherfucker that got glass, they got to hit you with that. If it get serious, when a motherfucker hit you, if you talking to a motherfucker with glasses, right, and they hit you with like this to push their glasses up, or if they hit you with it right here, it's finna get serious. It's finna get serious. Now let's read this shit. Life After Death is the second and final studio album by American rapper the Notorious B.I.G. Released on March 25th, 1997 on Bad Boy Record and Arista Records. Arista Records. Or that's an I. Arista, I think that's an I. Now, let's go back so we can get this. Yeah, drop that link, man. Drop that link, Branches. Drop that link, Branches. No, man. Now let me pull this up right here while we in the midst of it. Let me pull this up right here. Let's pull this up right here. They want him trending for a reason. Hold on, let's see when let's see if we can pull the date up or when all this shit just started. If I'm not mistaken, it was yesterday. If I'm not mistaken, it was yesterday. Hold on, you know what? Let me type it in. Let me type it in. That's wrong, but shit. March 25th. March 25th. Homeland Security has raided 2 homes owned by rapper Sean P. Diddy Combs, according to several reports. The raids took place in Miami and Los Angeles. Ain't that a coinkydink? Hold on, let me go back. Ain't that a motherfucking coinkydink? Branches, drop that link. Drop that link. Ain't that a goddamn, hold on. Ain't that a goddamn coinkydink? Ain't that a March the 25th? March the motherfucking 25th. March the 25th. The anniversary of the life after death. Now, let's not talk about the song Kick in the Door. Let's not talk about the song Kick in the Door. See, and then you got your regular motherfuckers that's hiding away in $1 billion bunkers. Yeah, they out hiding. But like I say numerous of times, then we heading into the solar eclipse. You feel me? The last solar eclipse, guess what? Dick Gregory died. Don't be surprised they got another celebrity death or a so-called important person die. See, let me pull this picture up right here. Hold on. What is goddamn picture? Hold on, let me see if I can find this picture. Hold on, what them pictures at? Oh, this ain't what I'm looking for. I'm on the wrong set of pictures. Hold on, bear with me. Bear with me. Let me pull these pictures up. Where the fuck that picture at? Hold on, bear with me. You feel me? Because most of us already know what the fuck going on. Most of us already know what the fuck going on. Hold on. Where the fuck that picture? Here you go. Let me share that picture right there. Let me blow it up. Let me blow that up right there. The Nickelodeon logo is actually Epstein Island. They always put the truth in plain motherfucking sight. They always put the truth in plain goddamn sight. Always put it in plain goddamn sight. Hold on. That's just for instance, just like this right here. Hold up. That's just like that right here. I'm gonna share button it. That's just like this right here. You got your Disney, then or whatever. I think it's Disney. Then right above, under it, as above, so below, you got Epstein. You got Epstein up under them. They pick and choose what the blow up should wait. They pick and choose what the blow up should wait. Just like we had on the internet, on Facebook or whatever have you, Instagram, whatever social medias you got obtained, where they was talking about how this older guy with his polo, his khaki, and his New Balance on through the whole goddamn so-called black community off. Through the whole motherfucking black community off, because they on this motherfucker talking about, oh, he ain't your younger generation. Oh, he ain't fresh. He ain't, because that's how the woman, whoever the woman was recording them. Not to mind you, the nigga had about a $65 meal from Waterburg. So how was it? How was, let me reiterate and backtrack. See, your younger women, new millennium women, you got to have on a certain type of drip for them to say that you are dripping. You fresh. Your clothes are up to par. You know what I'm saying? They want you in all this high-end designer. Your Gucci, Louis, Prada, Givenchy, Louis Vuitton, your Christian Louis Vuitton. You gotta have on Balenciaga. You got to have on Coco Chanel to be up to par. You got to be up to par. And they know us people is gonna feed into the bullshit. We're gonna feed into any little thing. Any little thing. Any little bullshit, because you know our attention span only just like this. Our attention span, we so far into the goddamn religion, it don't make no sense. It don't make no motherfucking sense. Mm-hmm. They know that we ain't gonna do nothing but rely on religion. We ain't gonna do nothing but rely on religion. That's all we gonna do. That's it. That's it. And we've been fighting for our motherfucking planet. We not knowing what color to wear during every weekday or every day. Notice that they don't want you to look up there at the sun, but they don't want you even to look at the motherfucking solar eclipse with your bare eyes, talking about it'll damage your vision. When we already been badly damaged. You know something significant going on because Or this right here. Right there. We can play this. They ain't closing because goddamn for motherfuckers to see it. Hold on.
Way kids aren't outside and potentially looking at the sun without protection. Now, the elementary schools and the high school will let out at noon. The middle schools will dismiss at 12:45. Outdoor activities will be halted from 2:30 to 4:30. The eclipse will be best seen among the East Coast between 3 and 4 p.m.
Yeah, we can't wait for this to happen.
Remember the last time you got to get that box thingy so you don't hurt your eyes, you know?
Well, they have glasses, online that you can just.
Oh, that's right. They have the glasses now. All right.
But we're excited about this because we're going to have some special coverage for you. More on that to come.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me go right here. Let me go right here. Let me go right here. Hold up. Play this. Hold on.
The death of a University of Missouri student.
In Nashville, police say a preliminary autopsy report shows that Riley Strain's death appears accidental. The 22-year-old went missing, as we've reported, in Nashville after being kicked out of the
Country's most restrictive social media bans for minors. It bans accounts for children under 14 and requires parental permission for 15 and 16-year-olds.
State of Oklahoma activating members of the local National Guard to help with the influx of tourists heading to view the solar eclipse. Some of the counties in the path of totality are expecting as many as 100,000 people. The goal is for the Guard to help lighten the load for local emergency workers. The eclipse, by the way, April the 8th, and areas of southern Illinois and central Indiana.
Trust me. They ain't deploying no National Guard to contain the people that's trying to see it. Trust and believe. Hold on, bear with me. Let me pull this up right here. Let me pull this up right here. Let me pull this up right here. Hold on. Hold on, bear with me. Hold on, let me see what this is right here. Hold on, bear with me. Hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me. Hold on, 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 bear with me. Let's see, can I find it? Hold on. Bear with me. Give me 2 shakes of a lambskin. Bear with me. I got it some goddamn way, y'all. Hold on, bear with me. Hold on, bear with me. There we go. Hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me. There we go. There we go. There we go right there. There we go. We see it, don't it? We see it, don't it? We see it. Looking right at it, ain't it? We're looking right at it, ain't it? We're looking right at it, ain't it? Mm-hmm. Cause guess what? We're looking right at it. Mm-hmm. You know your book of Revelation. We in it. It's all about high frequency. You know your book of Revelation be talking about the 7 seals, which is really your 7 chakras. It mentions the number 7, roughly 55 times. 7 churches, 7 letters, 7 spirits, 7 lamps, 7 stars, 7 seals, 7 horns, eyes, 7 angels, 7 trumpets, 7 heads, 7 crowns, 7 plagues, 7 bowls, 7 hills, 7 kings, 7 visions, and etc. Not to mention the comprise of the number 144,000, which boils down to 1 plus 4 plus 4 is 9. Like I just said, your book of Revelation comprises in high regards of the number 7. And you see, what we looking at right here. What we looking at right here. We see X marks the spot, Generation X, Planet X, Elon's rockets, SpaceX, Twitter is now X, Tesla Model X. X, you see it. You see it just like I see it, don't it? You see it just like I just seen it. We know it's an important and sacred, the X. And how this solar eclipse forming the path with the form of an X. It's deeper than what you may want to believe. And we grown enough to know it's not the moon. We know it. In the Kundalini yoga, they teach about each of the 7 chakras, light, energy, frequency, that gets blocked by negative thoughts and emotions. The root chakra, or the symbol for root chakra, has 4 petals. Navel chakra with 6, solar plex 10, heart chakra 12, Throat chakra 16. They come out to be 48. Third chakra represented by 96 with 2 petals. We know in the third eye, aka the first eye, is 2 times way more important than all the lower 5 chakras. We trying to emit at the highest frequency. Spiritual war going on. And it's supposed to be America's 9th total solar eclipse. Nine symbolizes the alphabet I, EYE. Notice how it's gonna be April the 8th, somewhere in Aries. Sounds like air. You throw that in with the planet Mars, the planet of war. We know September, Virgo, the birth, the rebirth, 9th month, so-called. April and September about 5 months apart. Five is a 4-letter word equaling 9. I don't know how much more, many more signs that we need to see. Especially for us chosen one. All this motherfucking evidence that's being thrown at us. And we know the spiritual plane and the physical plane, we merge in timelines. We so caught up in religion, we ain't paying attention to the bigger picture. We not getting in tune with our soul. We not getting in tune with our soul. Which goes back to the whole concept of illusions and hologram. You feel me? Like the God of the day or the God of the living, like Bobby said, in actuality, these 2 eyes. It's the God of these 2 eyes. Like he said, which it's a cheat. The eyes create this illusion around us, which is a hologram. And the God of the dead is inside of us. Let me pull this picture up. Let me pull this picture up. Let me pull this picture up. God damn it. Pull this picture up. If I can. So can I pull this picture up? Not to mention Beyonce on all the horses. On all your biblical horses. Let me see, can I pull this picture up? Let's see, can I pull this picture up? Let's see, can I find this goddamn picture? Hold on, bear with me. Go back right here. Go back right here. Here we go. Pull this picture up right here. Oh, what is shit at? I got the picture up though. Hold on. Right there. And in actuality, the God of the dead is inside of her. And when they talk about Jesus died on the cross, all you got to do is just stand up and extend your arms outwardly. That's the cross. Christ is the third eye, the pineal gland, which means our soul that's on the inside of us died a long time ago, basically when we fell into the physical realm. And it's on the way of being resurrected again through the Kundalini energy. This what's going on. This was going on right before our eyes. We elevate and don't even know it. Even your Bible told you it's gonna be signs in the heavens. We had that solar eclipse in August 21st, 2017. Now we got one April 8th, 2024. 7 years apart. And it's very significant. And we don't even know it. And we can also get into why they've been blocking the skies. I'm talking about sky just been getting obscured for the last umpteen years. And we can take it back to Star Trek about the Thelodian web. You feel me? A constant layer of reflective metallic nanoparticles that's being woven into the skies. Like I said, the atmosphere is breaking down. The ozone layer is being depleted. All these different so-called stars, suns that's being visible in the sky. But we caught up in the whole Diddy shit. And can't get back and can't even get in tune to the information that's being spread, like the register of titles or your birth certificate, which is authorized to receive for registration of memorials upon any outstanding certificate of title and official birth certificate pertaining to a registered owner name in said certificate of title showing the date of birth of said registered owner, providing there is attached to said birth certificate an affidavit of an affiant who states that he or she is familiar with the facts recited, stating that the party named in said birth certificate is the same party as one of the owners named in the said certificate of title, and that thereafter the registry of title shall treat said registered owner as having attained the age of the majority at a date 18 years after the date of the birth shown by said certificate. And what it is, we putting together puzzles. You feel me? The words don't lie. They connect. And I just gave you the purchaser of a birth certificate, meaning you as the purchaser of the birth certificate, you have direct interest. Now onto the registered owner name and said certificate of title is one of the owners named and said certificate of title. If the sister KV Trust is the beneficiary, then who the heck is the true beneficial owner of a certificate of title, the stock certificate, aka the stock certificate? So you got to ask yourself that question. And if your name title is used every time to create an account, then what the heck is your name on that account? A beneficial owner with direct interest. Oh, let me pull this up right here. While we speaking on the solar eclipse. Hold on, while we speaking on the solar eclipse, hold on. Or whatever the fuck it is, hold on. I'm gonna just play this short. Hold on, bear with me. Let me share this. Sonic's new blackout slush float.
Another taste test video. We're back at Sonic for this limited time blackout slushy. They're doing these for the eclipse coming up. They come with.
Just had to show you that real quick. Let me go right here. Hold up. Shit, I ain't meant to do that. Hold on, let me go right here. 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 Oh, shit. I know damn some Quran. Right. No other fucking holy book tell you to bow down.
and not become God. That was for another people. That's why it's your team. After you failed. That was for another man. That's why they got that book. Now you following that young shit. Suppressing your woman. I ain't never did shit to you and for your ass. Right now, no more than a Christian dumb shit. You can buy out all the hell you want. Fuck Allah. Now, fuck his ass. Right. So now that ain't got no. That is to the person that you think is this entity out here. Fuck him. And any other damn God out there. You don't know what time it is.
And that's the factual truth right there. See, that's the difference from believing versus knowing. You see, when you believe, you're on a fence and you're not sure. But when you know, that's the difference. See? And that's why people sit back and say, oh, God gonna get him. And now if nothing happened, and I don't do nothing but constantly speak to more people, he's doing the devil's bidding. He's doing the devil's bidding. Any type of excuse to make up on a reason on why you are submitting your energy to someone that you never even seen, has no historical record of doing anything for your species. The only records that you have of this individual is through another species that he supposedly created to abuse you for something you don't even know what you did. You don't even know what we did, but we fell out of. No, we don't even know what we did. And not one person, and I will ask that you leave a comment. What did we do for God to come back 12,000 years ago, or even 60,000 years ago, now that they want to switch things up, to create a race of people to enslave us and abuse us? What did we do? Okay, I'll wait for that there. See, when you study psychology, you will understand that the entity you serving has mental illnesses and mental problems. And guess what? The residual effects of him having mental illnesses and problems, because you believe in him, you attach yourself to that energy, abundance and gratitude.
Hold on, bear with me.
With our heads turned heavenwards, crying out into the void, what did we do to deserve this? Well, we ruined the planet, we dispossessed, imprisoned and slaughtered First Nations people, we enforced gender roles, we systemized rape, racism, misogyny, transphobia, homophobia, ableism, classism and unsustainable food industries. We allowed fossil fuel companies to operate our elected officials like ventriloquist dummies from hell, raping our planet for economic gain. We turned the prisons and military into big business. We sold our land, our resources, our water table and the port of Darwin to the Chinese, who we're now in a trade war with. We empowered the church to such a degree it's now just a tax haven for pedophiles, with the ability to manipulate government policy and mandate legislation on women's bodies without their consent. And we bred dogs to a superficial aesthetic level so they can no longer breathe. But pugs are so cute the way they suffocate when they walk. Their eyes are pointing in different directions because they're asking both owners to kill.
And not to mention, even though he stated it in the first sentence, the genocide of the organic people. But let me just make it clear. The genocidal acts that's pulled on the so-called black woman in starseeds and the destruction.
Hold on, bear with me. We ain't done.
All these $200 million bunkers like apparently Zuckerberg's doing in Hawaii. What is that for? Why is Biden doing a bunker in Delaware? Why are they doing these things? It's because, dude, they are preparing to destroy everything if they lose power, because if they lose power, they're going to be held accountable. And they're going to get their way, dude, and it's going to your entire life up and your family's life and everybody's life, these people are going to do anything. You got these people building bunkers all over the world, dude. What are they building all these $200 million bunkers like apparently Zuckerberg's doing in Hawaii? What is that for? Why is Biden doing a bunker in Delaware? Why are they doing these things? It's because, dude, they are preparing to destroy everything if they lose power, because if they lose power, they're going to be held accountable. And they're going to get...
No, that's not the case, because even the Pope has came out and stated that religion is controlling the world, and everything that we have taught and told people is an absolute and complete total lie. See, and even he come out and telling you now that that they lied about everything, because the people that are building these underground bunkers, you honestly think that they're Joey and Kim or the white girl in Outback or your manager at Target. No, there's not. You think they pour white trash. No, they're not. This is a suit. Those are extraterrestrials. You see what I'm saying to you? And they are hiding and trying to go on the ground and try to hide from the solar blast. It's not going to kill them. It's not going to destroy them. It's going to remove the suit. So therefore, they no longer can hide from you. And this was a scene in Scooby-Doo, the movie Scooby-Doo, when the girl was on the back of the motorcycle and the sunlight hit her, and then she shift-shaped it into what you call a reptoid, a reptilian or a sectoid. It shows you this with the new light, the new frequency that's going to hit. No one is going to be able to hide who they truly are. Other races of people that were genetically modified using different animals, different DNA from other animals, they're going to return into what you call a zombie state. But some of them are going to have their mind, and they're going to flip out. And more important, they're going to flip out on their government, and they're going to flip out on a species that has already been here. Because they're going to come to the realization, just like this man here is now coming to the realization, and I told y'all this many years ago, it's not going to be a race war. It's not. They think you think it is. They hoping it. It's not. It's too much light coming in, meaning it's too much knowledge. It's too much truth coming in. And now these people are going to see that they were used. They were used. They had an expiration date. That's why the clock was created. The calendar was created, because that was directly connected to the eukaryotic cell organism. They were created to be destroyed. That's it. Their creators know this. So now that is coming, and just imagine if somebody told you within 24 hours you're going to die, you already not mentally stable, what you think you would do? Think about that. This is why the jab was so important. Understand and understand what's happening to you, my brothers and sisters. Understand this is about the race against the sun, about the children of the sun, the people of the universe that's walking in the flesh. This is what this is about, a race against the sun. These people are coming to the realization, Jane Elliott and people like him, and they are all realizing that they were used and now being played. They led themselves directly into the dark ages, no matter how many crop circles was left for them, no matter how much our brothers and sisters showed up on radar, no matter how much they dissected us and see and know that we are we genetically evolved, not just with the planet, but with the entirety of the cosmos. They don't have no idea who we are. Abundance and gratitude to you all, my people.
There will come the time, and it's not going to take long, where a natural separation is going to take place. A natural separation. The ones that are able to read the signs, that are able to go with what is happening, to adapt to the changes this world is bringing to us, they will move on to another world. They will move on to another area, to another cycle of us humans being right now here on the earth. And other people that are unwilling, unable, maybe incapable of adapting to the coming changes. It is simple like this. They will stay with the old world, which is about to end. That's the message.
Now, I don't even know this individual, but I understand and understand what he stated. Those that are unwilling, those that are disconnected, those that are unable, you see, unable, the eukaryotic cell, unable to biosynthesize the sun. There is a separation that's coming. I told you the sun is already separating us. It's a great separation. I don't even know him. Why would he be uttering my words? Outside of the fact that me breaking it down to its simplest form, where nobody is going to have a misunderstanding or overstanding about what's taking place when they say the separation is taking place. The organic versus inorganic, prokaryote versus eukaryotic cell, single cell organism, complex organism, abundant.
So it's pretty obvious that disclosure has already started. We're in the middle of it right now. The interesting thing is what happens next. So you're going to start hearing these two words discussed a lot by insiders and people at the top. That is controlled disclosure versus catastrophic disclosure. And this is interesting. So controlled disclosure is basically meaning the people that are behind all this, that have the most information, can control it in a slow drip way to where they can just incrementally introduce the human population to all these things that they've figured out. A, we're not alone in the cosmos. B, everything we know about our history, our origins, the Genesis story, everything like that's probably false. And here's the new alternative version. You know, all these things are going to have to be slow drip because it causes what's called ontological shock, where you basically go into shock and freak out because everything you thought you knew is a lie or is wrong. And you have to wrap your head around the, changing of your religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, all of your beliefs, So that's a big deal. And if your mind isn't right, you're not ready for that spiritually and psychologically, it can have a lot of bad ramifications, okay? Now, that leads us to what they call catastrophic disclosure. Catastrophic disclosure is if they're not able to slow drip this. Like say they, when I say they, you know who I mean, the people at the top that are behind all this, they want to take 10 to 20 years to slow drip all this stuff out. Hey, here's a picture of a weird looking civilization type thing on Mars. Oh, hey, look, here's a picture of a UFO. Oh, hey, maybe here's some biologics from the body, and just slow drip it, and get everyone acclimated, give people time to wrap their mind around it before they give them the next piece of the puzzle. That's slow drip disclosure. That's controlled disclosure. Slow drip, monitor. If people start freaking out, pull back, wait a little while, slow drip some more. Now, what happens if something happens and there's a collective just oh shit moment, and instead of them taking 10, 20 years to release this all, it happens like that, okay? And all of a sudden, everyone on Earth, it's crystal clear, we're not alone, and all that stuff I just talked about, the questioning of your religious beliefs, your spiritual beliefs, Genesis story, who are we, where are we, when are we, what is a human, what's out there, who created us, what's going on, all those things flood into the human psyche at one time. Now, that can cause all sorts of psychological issues. I don't think I need to explain that. If you're not mentally stable, all of that flood at one time, and then watching everything crumble around you, like watching, religious wars break out and riots and people stop going to work and all the things that happen. And on top of all that destruction and chaos in the world, you have to wrap your head around that we could be the byproduct of an extraterrestrial race or some sort of an alien human hybrid or chimpanzee hybrid, or who knows what they're going to tell us, what's the real story. I have my theories, but having to wrap your head around all that, like instantly, and not having someone to go to for support because everybody's going to be scrambling and falling apart at the same time. Now, that is part one of what causes catastrophic disclosure. Part two is the phenomenon's effects on people's psyche. Okay, so there's something called like the hitchhiker effect, and there's also something called acquired savant syndrome. These are two things that happen to people that are in close proximity to the phenomenon. So there are two opposites. And this is what makes me think that maybe it's also just a reflection of your internal self, because acquired savant syndrome basically means you are in contact with the phenomenon in some way, some sort of close encounter, and all of a sudden you have these enhanced abilities, these psi abilities. You're telepathic, you have premonitions, you can see auras, you can speak different languages and play instruments and stuff like that you've never, you can do advanced mathematics and physics, right? This is amazing. You're basically like a fucking X-Men, right? You have, enhanced spiritual and psychic abilities just instantly, right? While that's hard to come to grips with and to manage, because sometimes it's overwhelming. It's a whole lot at once. That would be seen as a positive. We're enhancing the human, machine. Now, on the flip side of that, when we have these hitchhiker effects, it's usually negative. We've seen this with, Skinwalker Ranch. They wrote a book called Skinwalkers of the Pentagon, where literally people in the intelligence agencies were going out to Skinwalker Ranch, coming back home, and bringing paranormal effects with them. That was spreading like a virus. They were giving it to their kids, and the kids would go to school and transmit it to neighbors and friends at school and that kind of stuff. People were seeing werewolves. People were having all sorts of poltergeists and paranormal things happening in their houses. And it was terrifying. So this is the flip side of the coin. So we see how with, close proximity to the phenomenon, you can have either these amazing, beautiful, magical effects, these enhancements to the human, spirit, or you can have these detrimental effects, like almost like a disease or a virus, causing basically like manifestations of internal fears and things like that. So you can see how moving forward, it's less about, oh, there's aliens out there and we're not alone in the cosmos. I think we're way past that. I think everyone knows that. It's more about, this is consciousness related. Like, this has to do as much with the human psyche and as much with consciousness in general as it does with the cosmos is huge and, a law of averages. If you look at how many stars there are and planets around stars, and there's bound to be other civilizations. Yes, that's a given. We know that. But it's much deeper than that. That's what they're realizing with the phenomenon is only a small part of the phenomenon is actually like nuts and bolts, flying saucers, and aliens. Most of it is these spiritual things, these paranormal things, these time things that don't really make any sense to us. There's so much behind the scenes. There's so much about this that's metaphysical, way beyond parts that are physical. And the fear with catastrophic disclosure is that all of this is going to happen at once. And instead of like happening to small groups of people where we can kind of go and study them, they've labeled it Havana syndrome. We now think Havana syndrome is actually part of this phenomenon. We can study those people, we can isolate those people, we can medicate those people and help those people. But what if this happens to billions at once? That's the risk we take with a catastrophic disclosure. That's a risk we take if there's actually this. People say, why don't they just come land on the lawn and shake our hands and say hi? It's too much for the average human brain, the average human psyche to handle the flood of not only emotions and, changing thoughts, but the physiological and psychological effects that happens at the same time can cause people to literally go crazy. And if that happens to 1 or 2 people, we can manage it. If it happens to 100, 200 people, we can manage it. If it happens to 1 million, we're in trouble. If it happens to 1 billion, no one knows what will happen. So when you see people talking about disclosure and people are rushing them and saying, hurry up, tell us what you know and all these things, maybe there's parts of this that we haven't really understood firmly enough, and that they know that there could be these very unwanted effects that could literally crumble society as we know it. Because I think we're way more fragile psychologically, mentally, and even spiritually and emotionally than most people realize. I think most people are hanging on by a thread. And if you just all of a sudden create this ontological shock, and on top of it, give them psychic abilities they've never had before, and on top of it, give them the ability to manifest their deepest, darkest fears, and on top of it, everything is crumbling around them, so there's no support groups, and there's nobody to come and rescue them and help them and stuff, and you do that to billions of people at once, that literally is the fear that we have right now with this catastrophic disclosure, that some sort of a mass showing, a mass event, a mass encounter could literally create this catastrophic series of this domino effect of events that would happen that we don't know how to manage. And it's possible that this is what happens to the great civilizations over time. They get to a point technologically and spiritually and consciously where the phenomenon wants to come and show itself and interact, and possibly it's too much and they crumble. There's nothing else that explains the fall of every great civilization on Earth. That's usually linked with some sort of an encounter type thing. And there's lots of information that points to interaction between the phenomenon and the greatest civilizations on Earth, and then also the demise. And I don't think it's done purposely. I think maybe they're trying to figure out how to integrate in a way, how to, do this mass encounter in a way that does not destroy humanity and civilization. I think it starts up here. I'm going to start moving forward. I'm going to do more spiritual work. I'm going to start doing more like helping people get to know themselves, helping people accept themselves, helping people be comfortable with themselves, and helping people be, more spiritually in tune and consciously in tune, and elevate your states of consciousness to the point where no matter what happens, you're ready for it. I think that that's the most important thing moving forward, is not just say, hey, this is fun. It's like watching Independence Day. No. It's more like watching the second coming of Christ. You know what I mean? You have to be ready for it, because we don't know what's going to happen. So let's get our minds right. Take care of one another, peace, love, happiness, all that fun stuff. And anyways, so that's just a quick rundown of the difference between disclosures. We're in the middle of disclosure, but is it going to be controlled or catastrophic? We'll find out. Much love. Have a beautiful day. Peace.
So let me just say this to you real fast, my people. It's going to be catastrophic. It's going to be catastrophic because this boils down to DNA, and this boils down to a celestial object that sits in the center of our solar system that is the #1 source of energy, aka the sun. And the sun people, everybody already knows there's other life forms out there. What they are in denial about, what they truly know deep down inside, including this man, this human right here that is recording the video, he knows deep down inside. That's why they said, are we some sort of byproduct or hybrid chimpanzee from a extraterrestrial race? Because everything boils down to genetics. And when the age of Aquarius is what I say is where the truth is more disturbing than the lie, because it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment for us, but a joke on them to really believe that there is a God in the sky and a Satan in the ground, and we're the only civilization in the entire solar system, and we are the most advanced, and our greatest achievement is flying spaceships. Flying helicopters and airplanes and rockets. Are you serious? And shooting guns and creating wars? You out your mind. This is completely against universal law, and they cannot stop the information from coming out. This has nothing to do about spaceships. It's everything about that 97% junk DNA that is now bonding with the molecules from the sun, with the coronal mass ejections. Those atom molecules are bonding with our molecules, and we are changing our anatomy, and their anatomy is changing. And what's the whole shock, which they already know, but the whole shock, like I told you, their lie is embedded all the way down to their bone marrow. And this is where UVC radiation come in at. This is where ionized particles come in at, aka CMEs, coronal mass ejections. And this is where rare iron oxide dust come in at. It has to be burnt out of them through their bone marrow in order for them to realize that their life has been built off of genocide of the organic species of this planet. And they will not get away with this. Even their creators won't get away with this. I done told you this many times before, and now everybody's slowly but surely trying to come out with slow videos to try to tell you the same thing that I've been telling you for the longest. My brothers and sisters, y'all better get ready mentally to be introduced to your brothers and sisters, and also to see other life forms, 9 feet, 12 feet, 24 feet, 34 feet. Be prepared to see these things in other life forms, and more importantly, be prepared to see the species that enslaved you and abused you to literally change. They are literally, their physiology, their psychologically, they're going to change right in front of you. And this way they say the zombie apocalypse. Abundance and gratitude to you all.
News. Listen. Italy achieves unthinkable world record. No births in 3 months. Lady.
Paul, so let me say this to you. Shout out to this brother right here. I don't know this brother's name, but much appreciation and value for sharing this video. But again, like I told y'all, when you understand anatomy, and this is the one thing that they keep so-called black people from understanding and overstanding DNA, the genetics. You're not educated, or you don't possess the intellectual properties of biology on how cells develop and then turn into organs that turn into systems. Then you think everybody's the same on the planet, and everybody is not the same, no matter what. This is why Zecharia Sitchin was murdered. Zecharia Sitchin was literally murdered. Zecharia Sitchin stated that there was a group of extraterrestrials that came to the planet and seated a group of people here to extract the resources on this planet. Now, he has it right, extract the resources, but what is the resources? Everybody think gold, diamond, copper, the oil. No, the number one resource on this planet is genetics, the so-called Black woman's genetics. This is why so-called Black people suffer the most on this planet. So anyway, when these entities on this planet first genetically modified these people, they didn't have the ability to naturally reproduce with one another, because you can't have two different species, aka animals or species, whichever one you want to call it, can naturally reproduce with one another. Fish cannot reproduce with a monkey. A cow can't reproduce with a wolf. Two different species does not naturally reproduce with one another. So when they first was genetically modified, they couldn't reproduce. Now what happened was, because we broke the covenant of our direct connection with ourselves, we caused them to have the ability to reproduce. But the further we fell, the more they evolved. So the more we went backwards, the more this species went through what you call a evolutionary period. And this is where they get evolution from. These people has nothing to do with us. But anyway, now that the sun, aka, has increased its intensity, you have UVA, UVB has increased its intensity, and now UVC radiation, which is a detoxifier, a germ killer, a mutating wavelength, they are now decreasing and regarding creating life, because they cannot create life. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Monkeys only can reproduce with monkeys, and when you share 98%, 99% of your DNA, or 98 to 99% of your DNA with a monkey, wolf, dog, fruit fly, muskrat, and other species of animals to make one living organism, you are what you call a mutation. You are what you call a genetic defect. And they all knew this was coming. So now they are trying to cover this up due to the fact that the UVC radiation has intensified on the planet, and now it's causing aka ovarian cancer on their ovaries, where though they're not able to reproduce at the rate that they were at the low rate that they were already reproducing in the first place. So now they can't. But anyway, let me let this video play.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the entire country of Italy.
What?
They have not seen a birth in 3 months. Italy is seeking to rival Japan's predictable extinction event. So, yeah, they're going through an extinction event because Japan, they said there are so many empty homes everywhere. That's why they're trying to offer it to couples that are willing to have babies, because they're not that far off from Italy.
It's over, y'all.
While once we approach this severely depleted birth rate happening as solely the major issue for Asian Circle, not including South Asian, India, of course, what we're finding now is that, in fact, it is affecting the entire EU.
The entire...
or Europe significantly as a whole.
What? I told y'all.
Except for one country, which we'll put forth later. Unfortunately, Italy recently set a new all-time low, where there have been no births in the entire country for 3 months.
Oh my goodness. I also brought up on my live that Elon Musk said since the 1970s that the world has been suffering a population collapse. Listen to this.
Now we have an underpopulation problem.
Really?
Yeah.
Why
So this is the most commonly misunderstood situation.
Yeah, they definitely push that we have a overpopulation.
Yeah, why is that? I don't know. It's just like, I think it's like, this is a holdover from like, I don't know, the 70s or something, you know? So there was a huge baby boom, like where people did have a ton of kids after World War II. But then the U.S. has actually been that the birth rate in the U.S. has been below replacement rate since like 71 or 72.
U.S.
Like 50 years.
How about other countries
though? Below replacement rate.
I know U.S., but how about other countries?
Well, like China's got a huge population collapse problem.
Really?
Yeah.
China, you actually get penalized if you have more than one kid.
No,
Are you being serious?
No,
They cut that off.
No, see, this is like, so part of it is just like, we're operating on things that were true in the past but are no longer true. So China did have a one-child policy, but like about 10 years ago, they changed it to a two-child policy. Then a few years ago, they changed it to a three-child policy, and birth rate kept plummeting the whole time.
My people, we already know what time it is. This is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get this shift.
Abundance and gratitude, my people. You already said. See, a lot of people still operating and thinking we still in the old. You know what I mean? Oh, China was operating on a one-child policy. Elon Musk said, no, you know, all that stuff is old. They went all the way up to a three-child policy, and they still on a decline. All the countries in the north are going back on the ice, and they going back as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. They will not allow, they are not allowed to reproduce on this planet because it's unnatural on this. It's unnatural they are unnatural living organism. Let's just put it to you like that. They are an unnatural living organism that squandered their privilege for being on this planet right here with all the violence and chaos. So all the stuff that you see going on in the news right now, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, everybody's getting involved with this bullcrap, the collapse of the market, the collapse of the dollar on the stock market. All of this right here is just as a reset. It's all has to be shut down. Must understand and understand one thing. It was something dark and inhumane that took place with us in order to get us from being able to map the stars and surf and navigate throughout the cosmos astro-projectually and physically at the same time, to the point that now we're talking about the best routes to work. Something drastic had to take place with us in order for us to go from that point to this point. And guess what, my people? It's something drastic has to take place with us, the entire planet, for us to get back to who we truly are as individuals and collectively. So understand and understand, this is not racism. This is not hatred. You study biology, you study chemistry, you study genetics. You will understand and understand that these people, as I told you before, that they don't belong here. And because they don't belong here, and they have squandered their privileges by all the violence that they caused on this planet, now they got to go out of here. They got to go all out. They better go all out. That's the best thing that I can say. They better go all out. You know what I'm saying? The truth is more disturbing than the lie. This is the abundance, my people. Abundance, supreme. Now, this video right here is from Mr. MB33, which he recently just uploaded, speaking about the Miami incident. Now, Mr. MB33, I'm not calling you an agent or anything like that, but I am going to say that you are in denial about what you are capturing, and even as you are recording this video, you are in denial about what you're seeing, and you only speaking about what fits your narrative. Now, I'm not trying to be smart to you because I'm going to point it out to you, Mr. MB33. So here we go. Now, this is the end of the video, or towards the end. Let me rewind it back to the very beginning, and I'm going to let you give your explanation about what you see and how it went on. We're going to start this from the beginning. My bad, people. I should have been rewinded. I want you to look at something. Now, and I just showed y'all this the other night on my live video. I showed you now, first of all, this is a transparent beam, but it's casting a shadow. Now, I want you to listen to what Mr. MB33 says, and I'm going to interject. And again, Mr. MB33, I'm not targeting you, but I understand what the agents are doing now. And I'm not calling you an agent, but I know what they're doing now, because they know this was a warning and it's nothing that they can do. So they need us to follow the scripts. You understand? The scripture, wars and rumors of war. So long as we continue to follow that scripture, everything is going to play out the way, or similar the way this entity wanted to play out, where everybody finds out the truth at the end. But that's not the way the cosmos is going to do it, or my star family, Mr. MB33. So hold on. So let you play. Here we go.
Analyzed showing a potential 8 to 10 foot tall creature of some sort that was spotted in video footage of this incident that again required the presence of 50 to 60 squad cars that showed up down here at the Bayside Market.
First of all, let me just interject with that. It wasn't 50 to 60. It was over 100. And all of the communication was shut off regarding the police officers. So even if me and my partner in the car together and we showed up to the scene, our radios was shut off with each other. So if my partner in the back of the building, I'm in the front of the building, there's no way I can communicate. So why did they shut that off? And there is no camera or footage of any type of violent act that took place here. So I just want to interject with that right there real quick. Go ahead.
In Miami. And this is a view from a high rise across the street from all of the activity on New Year's Day. And right here are what some people are perceiving as a 8 to 10 foot tall alien creature walking by, and that these squad cars are looking at this very tall creature in this video. Well, what I did, I went to this location.
Well, let me interject. They wasn't looking at this beam. A lot of the cops was running around. These cars was already there. They wasn't looking at this beam. The cops was not looking at. They would have saw them. They would have stopped and froze. They wasn't looking at them. So I just want you to know. Now, mind you, it's a transparent beam. It's casting a shadow on the so-called steps that he's going to show you. Now listen to this.
On Google Earth. I analyzed the video and I determined that there was no way that could have been an 8 to 10 foot tall creature. Here's the exact location on Google Earth, and there just so happened to be a gentleman walking through this image on Google Earth, and this man's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 5'10" to 6 foot tall, walking by those same steps you see right here in this image. So whatever's in that image couldn't be any more than 5 or 6 feet tall at best, probably not even that tall, because if you look at the man again in this video, he looks to be taller than whatever's showing up in the video footage. And this is a still image over here on the right of these alleged 8 to 10 foot tall creatures. So I don't think that's what's going on, at least based off of what we're looking at over here on the left. Again, that's a Google Earth image of that location. And right here's the exact location on Google Earth. There's the 3 steps that show up in the video. This is a torch that's also in the video. As we'll go back to the video, there's the 3 very obvious steps. There's the torch right there. This is just an inverted format. Light is dark.
Pause. Now, remember when he went to, just look, you see how fast he went through the inverted format? Light is dark and dark is light. If that was a natural human being, of which we know, then it would have been a solid dark object. But he hurried up and moved fast. I'm gonna rewind it back again. Look.
There's the 3 steps that show up in the video. This is a torch that's also in the video. As we'll go back to the video, there's the 3 very obvious steps. There's the torch right there. This is just an inverted format. Light is dark, dark is light. Here I inserted the Google Earth image. You saw the torch right there at the top of the video. Here I put it in fast forward to show that there was indeed something walking in front of those steps during this video. But as I just showed you guys.
Now, pause. Let me rewind this just a little bit, my people, as he continued to show you those images, right? What you don't notice, right? When you look at this guy right here with this Google image, you see the shadow starting from the ground to the top. You see the shadow starting from the ground. Hold on. Let me remove it back just a little bit. Here we go. All right, here we go. You see that guy right there? The shadow starts from the ground to the top. The shadow with these beams didn't start from the ground. So just look at this again.
I don't think that's what's going on.
Look at it
at
again.
least based off of what we're looking at over here on the.
And when he showed light is dark and dark is light, if that was a physical human being in which we know it, it would have been much darker. And I'm going to show you on a camera that is farther from that. That is a far distant camera from the one that's showing you right here of someone that's walking in front of the steps, that you can clearly see that that's a human being. But this camera right here is closer, but it's transparent and you don't know what it is.
Left again, that's a Google Earth image of that location, and right here's the exact location on Google Earth. There's the 3 steps that show up in the video. This is a torch that's also in the video. As we'll go back to the video, there's the 3 very obvious steps.
Look
There's
at the shadow
torch
at the top.
right there.
Watch.
This is just an inverted format.
Watch
Light is dark, dark is
version.
light. Here I inserted the Google Earth image. You saw the torch
See
right
at the
there
top,
at the
right
top
hand
of the
corner,
video. Here I
top
put it
right hand
fast
corner.
forward to show
See the
that
shadow
there was
moving,
indeed
top right hand
something
corner.
walking in front of those steps during this video. But as I just showed you guys, those steps aren't any taller than maybe 2.5, 3 feet off of the ground. And him being right around 5'11", 6 foot tall, from this perspective, he towered over those steps that were in the field of view of that Google Earth image. From this perspective right here, these beams, whatever they may be, look much shorter than the steps in the background. So I know the angle has something to do with it, but based off of what we just saw there, there's no way.
Pause. Yo, I got an eye like crazy. Watch this version and this yellow and white version. Watch the top of the steps. Watch you see the reflection.
Google Earth image. From this perspective right here, these beams, whatever they may be,
at the top
look
right hand
much
corner when he
shorter
played this
than the
version right
steps
here
in the background. So
look,
I know the angle
look at
has
the light.
something to do with it, but
Go back,
Kala.
You got it, Kala.
Put it fast forward to show that there
Look.
was indeed something.
Why the
walking
shadow
in
ain't
front of
started at
those
the ground?
steps
Watch
during
in the
this
top
video.
right hand
But as I
corner
just
in this
showed
version
you
right
guys,
here.
those
Watch the
steps
light
aren't
pop in.
any taller than maybe
And it
2.5,
reflect
3
light
feet
at
off
that.
of the ground.
Look, that's a
And
light.
him being right around 5'11", 6 foot tall, from this perspective, he towered over those steps that were in the field of view of that Google Earth image. From this perspective,
Look at the right
here,
hand corner.
these beams, whatever
Where
they
he
may
played
be,
this is
look
real
much
quick.
shorter than the steps in the background. So I know
Look at the light. You see?
to do with it, but based off of what we just saw there, there's no way that they could be anywhere near 8 to 10 feet.
Why
tall.
not?
However, what I did find equally as mysterious.
Now watch this here. It was more than that. Watch when he show and zoom. Watch he show. Now this camera is farther from the camera that was showed that was in front of the that was right in front of the mall. This camera is now panning to the same area. Now watch this, people.
I counted at least 50 active squad cars in this very small area during this situation. And right here, let me pause it real quick. This is the location of those 3 steps where those alleged creatures were at, walking right through here. And I just showed you that location right here on Google Earth. And again, those steps aren't any more than 2.5 or 3 feet off the ground. But there they are again with nobody in front of them, maybe one person right there walking by. But
Hold up. Nobody? Oh, hold up. Now somebody in front of them. Look at the solidness
Let me
in them.
pause it real quick. This is the location
Right
of
there.
those 3 steps.
See that?
where those
Why he didn't
alleged
go down, move
creatures
further
were at,
down?
walking
Why he
right
didn't
through
move further
here.
down?
And I just
Because
showed
that's
you that
somebody right
location
there.
right here on
Mhm.
Google Earth. And again,
And
those
that
steps aren't any
camera
more
is
than
farther
2.5 or 3 feet
than
off
the
the
camera
ground.
that
There
was
they are
actually
again
facing
with
down
nobody
towards
in
them.
front of them, maybe one
Come on,
person
man.
right there walking by. But it was the overwhelming presence.
Listen. I know this is hard to accept.
I saw this post on X, and it was discussing what is going on in Miami right now. I was at the Miami Mall yesterday, and the government is lying. There were no kids fighting. Everyone started panicking because these gray creatures were walking around. They didn't make any noises or sounds, but stared and watched you move. I tried to take a video, but every time I would try to, it would just bug out. They set a perimeter and wouldn't let anybody out or in unless they went through their photos. We were visited by aliens, and the government is covering it up. They were about 6 to 7 feet tall and walked very slowly. They could turn their head around completely, and it seemed like they could change forms, like they didn't have any bones and could bend their body in whatever way. No fingers or feet, just arms and legs. They could also seemingly teleport. They weren't walking around normally, but instead disappearing and then quickly reappearing somewhere else. This allowed them to walk through some of the glass displays in the mall and the walls. You couldn't escape if they wanted to kill. But they didn't seem aggressive, nor did they seem like they wanted to kill anybody. It almost seemed like they were lost, but they also weren't scared of the army of police that was all around. They must have felt like they were far superior. They grounded all flights for a period yesterday. They shut down police scanners in Miami area for hours. It wasn't intentional. They had no choice. Whatever these creatures are interfered with electronics. Why is there no video of this quote unquote fight they're talking about? This was posted earlier and I cannot verify its authenticity. All I can say is that this looks very similar to what I and others reportedly saw. No fingers or legs, anatomically consistent with a being that glides as opposed to steps. Now with this picture, I don't even know what I'm looking at, if I'm being honest. But this is wild. What a start to 2024. Guys, I think that
I already told y'all, you know, it wasn't no fight. It wasn't none of that. And they just didn't just appear there like they were lost. They were observing. And they were observing. This is foreign to them. Yeah. Just imagine them not being here for so long. And the last time they were here, how the planet looked. And now they're down here and they're looking and they were observing. And this was a message to the entirety of the human race and those that want to turn a deaf ear and a blind eye to reality. This is exactly what this was. This was a clear message and a warning. We are here and it's nothing you can do to stop us. Thank you, Hocus, for Hocus 4/5 for sharing this video right here. But again, like I said, it is what it is. It's nothing that they're going to do. And I told y'all right after the winter solstice going into 2024, it's going to be an increase where with our star family, also with the objects in the sky, as well as going to be a increase in what you call red flags or false flag operations on the planet to keep us distracted from what's going on. And the internet is going to go out. This is going to be the year of the first, domino effect of 3 that's going to take place. Call it whatever you want. These beings right here, this is what you call being able to bend light. This is what you call being able to manipulate the energy of the sun. This is what you are when you are a sunbeam. If they wanted to harm you, they could. They were walking around, free will, observing. That's it. But as they were observing, what they were doing is they were sending a message, a clear message. There is nothing you can do to stop us, and we are here now. What do you think? What you going to do now? What's your next move? Nothing. They kept everybody in there. They took their cell phones. There is no video of a fight. There is no video of any shootings. Nothing has been released other than people talking and stating that there were 8 to 10 feet beings that looked majestic or kind of white. And they were very tall and they were able to shapeshift and they were teleporting. Like I told you, they were blink, flash, and poof right in front of your face. And that spooked the shit out of people. That spooked the same thing the boy do of X-Men with the blue ball with the tail.
Warn us, listen to this.
Over 130 legislators in this chamber have endorsed legislation that would bankrupt our nation by providing free taxpayer-funded health care to millions of illegal aliens, forcing taxpayers to subsidize free care for anyone in the world who unlawfully crosses our borders. These proposals would raid the Medicare benefits of our seniors and that our seniors depend on, while acting as a powerful lure for illegal immigration. That is what is happening in California and other states. Their systems are totally out of control, costing taxpayers vast and unaffordable amounts of money. If forcing American taxpayers to provide unlimited free health care to illegal aliens sounds fair to you, then stand with the radical left. But if you believe that we should defend American patients and American seniors, then stand with me and pass legislation to prohibit free government health care for illegal aliens.
Now, you can call whatever you want. I told y'all already when Donald Trump was elected, look at Donald Trump and Mike Pence. Look at the tie. red and blue Kachina. I told you already that Donald Trump and Mike Pence, Trump Pence, that was the trumpet, that was the sound, the alarm. He was giving the people here in America, all the other nations already got the warning. This was a code, hidden code to the American people to wake up that you are going into the dark ages and that there is nothing that you can do. And your government, with AKA lizard family, AKA draconian, AKA right wing, left wing, excuse me. Remember I keep telling you left wing, right wing, but you're not paying attention to the bird. That they are literally, these people are literally systematically destroying America because you have to go into the dark ages, because their light up there, the light that we have right now with that sun in the sky, is their light, which is our darkness. The organic people, that is our darkness, their light. That light is going to go out and it's their darkness, and our light is now returning. Y'all don't understand. Now I'm gonna tell y'all what's going to happen. I firmly believe either Trump is going to some sort of assassination going to take place with Trump, or they're going to try to take Trump off the ballot, where though he can't run for president. And what is that going to do to the MAGA group? What is that going to do? All you need to do is do that, and then you have all these so-called illegal immigrants in here already to cause confusion on the planet. Not to mention, they already talking about China has already infiltrated our power grid. So they already got hackers already in our power grid, so forth and so on. This is all being lined up for you. And I told y'all many years ago, many sunrises ago, but you did not want to realize the red and blue Kachina. And when he was in office, I was showing you the blue Kachina. I was showing you the red Kachina, just like I'm showing it to you now. This is over, regardless if you want to believe this or not. All other races of people, the eukaryotic cell organism is going to have a serious problem with the fact that they no longer can live off of this genocidal world. Their world is coming to an end. You will literally have to rely on each other in order to get from one sunrise to the next. And we are going to see if you're able to do that with no power grid, no immediate food source, no security, no police officers, no nothing. You are going to have to learn to live with one another and live with the ways of the earth. Can you do that or not? Or you're going to kill each other and eat each other. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in again. And those that have forgotten their past are deemed to repeat it. The last dark ages lasted for 500 years. This one is going to last for over 2,000 plus. Excuse me, my apologies. This one is going to last for over 10,000 plus years. Abundance and gratitude to you all.
Bro, look at these clouds. What is going on? What is that?
But look over there. There's a circle one that's the actual cloud. Yeah. It's like a missing puzzle piece or something.
What is going on here with these clouds?
I'm gonna let that play again for you. I'm gonna let that play one more
look
again.
At these clouds. What is going on? What is that?
But look over there. There's a circle one that's the actual cloud. Yeah. It's like a missing puzzle piece or something.
What is going on here? With these clouds.
Just so you know, I told y'all people, the age of Aquarius, where the truth is more disturbing than the lie. Keep thinking it was a war going on in the heavens. Everything is aligning itself. Our brothers and sisters are here. We are being pulled towards a different part of the solar system, to the center of the solar system. Earth will be completely cleaned up. But they are observing and they are watching. This was a test. a scientific experiment, and they are observing, they are taking data, notes, they are shutting down underground facilities, and they are being prepared. So when the alignment happens, they're not waiting for no one else. When the alignment happens, this will be shut down. So just by me looking at this, and also the red and blue Kachinas becoming more prominent in the sky, where to come into the naked eye, the radiation levels are increasing exponentially. With all of this happening right now, I know that this will be the year that false flags will happen, and it will increase. This will be the year. Here you go, my people. American airline passenger restrained after attempting to open emergency door in flight. Here we go right here. I told you. Look at the people. Look at the people on the plane, and look at the people that are acting like this. The higher the elevation, the intensity, the higher the radiation. The higher the elevation, the higher in the intensity of the radiation. What I tell you, just look at this. Why this is not all over the news, and this is not the only one. This has happened. 2 flights in one day had to be grounded. 2 flights. He's attempting to open up the emergency door while in flight, and this happened twice in one day. And not to mention the other airline that crashed with everyone's anatomy and every physical thing on the planet. Everything is made up of atoms. Your cell phone, your laptop, your bed, your walls, everything. It just vibrates so low that it becomes dense. And these particles that are coming to the planet now is not allowing things to stay dense. It is breaking it down to its most simplest form. When you're dealing with matter, gas, liquid, solid, it's just like an ice cube. It's water, liquid. First of all, it starts off as gas, particles. Then it turns into what? Water. Then it turns into what? You freeze it. It becomes dense, solid. So we're solid right now. And what's happening with heat, when you apply heat to an ice cube, it starts to melt. Why? Because it's breaking back down to its most simplest form. Ice breaks down to water, and water breaks down to gases that goes into the air and the atmosphere as heat and light. And this is science facts. This is physics 101.
No.
They had to restrain a passenger. This happened twice in one day. And not to mention all the small airplanes that are crashing. Call it whatever you want. Call it fear-mongering. Call it whatever you want. Call it fear-mongering. Call it fear-mongering. Call it, division. Make up whatever you want. But this shit is happening. And keep thinking that this is only taking this the X flares that are hitting the planet. You just had another one. You just had another X flare. Keep thinking these CMEs, these coronal mass ejections, these charged particles are bonding with your atoms, your atom molecules, which is the smallest, the smallest unit of the cell. That is the building block of your cell, is an atom. And keep thinking that these X flares only is disturbing electronics. Keep thinking that shit. That's something small. That's the distraction. Cell phone towers going out, airplanes coming down, your internet not working properly, communication with radios are not working properly. Keep thinking that shit just affecting that, and not see that it's affecting every physical organism on the planet, sentient or non-sentient being, period. Abundance and gratitude. Just listen to this, my people.
Just imagine 90 years on planet Earth, what changes I've seen.
Let me take you back to the past and ask you.
All right. First of all, this is the World Forum and this is they're talking about climate change, and this woman went to go spend time with chimpanzees as she was doing some research regarding climatology. So, but I want you to listen to what she says about humans and their genetic makeup to the chimpanzees and what she was observing. Now, she was observing, she was living with them. She actually bonded with these monkeys. Now, mind you, I clearly read in the book where it stated that in the book that humans, scientists says humans are closer to some apes and monkeys than the apes and monkeys are related or close to themselves. So here we go.
Back to the past and ask you, when you went to Gombe and you started to live with the chimpanzees, what are the lessons you learned from that? If you were to summarize, that's such an unusual experience. None of us have had it. Give us a sense of what you learned.
First of all, it was amazingly exciting because nobody had done it. I was the first one. And the first thing that emerged was, gosh, how like us they are. I mean, we didn't even know then that we share 98.7% of our DNA. But watching them...
Pause. What'd she say? 97.8? Let me rewind that again for you. Now, this is on the World Forum.
Exciting because nobody had done it. I was the first one.
How is it that if she was wrong, somebody would correct her, right? Somebody would say, no, that's pseudoscience. That's not true. That's pseudoscience. She said it out of her mouth on a global platform. Here you go, right there, CNN, on a global platform. Let's play that again.
I was the first one. And the first thing that emerged was, gosh, how like us they are. I mean, we didn't even know then that we share 98.7% of our DNA.
98.7. But yet you call it pseudoscience when I say that they share DNA with a monkey, fruit fly, wolf, chimpanzee, cow, worm, muskrat. It is what it is. None of these people are genetically the same. They're not the same individually because the percentage in their DNA changes and the animal in which they use changes outside of the monkey. So the percentage of wolf, yeast, or worm and cow and fish can all change. Some of them don't even have wolf DNA or a small percentage of it and may have muskrat DNA. See, this is not hatred. The pseudoscience is what was already taught to you, what you believe in. There's an invisible man in the sky, an invisible man in the ground, evolution over time, evolution, a fish jumped out the water and had sex. Actually, if you understand physics, and this is basic physics, time actually works against evolution. The idea that two different molecules that are produced from two different genetic species, well, all of a sudden, because they are in the same proximity for over eons of years, would naturally start to bond with one another is not natural, people. That's not true. Evolution, time works against evolution. But I digress. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. Again, understand and overstand pseudoscience was what you already know. That's what you was taught. That was abused to you and abused inside of you. Pseudoscience. The truth is more disturbing than the lie. That's why. Okay, my people, here we go real fast. Now, I posted part 1. Now here's part 2. Here's part 2 of this. Now, the part 2 of this that I want you to pay attention to is this. Remember what I always say. Your genealogy is connected to your psychological state. Your psychological state is directly connected to your genealogy. Your genetics. Your genetics not only determine your phenotype, how you're going to look physically, the placement of eyes, your organs, your internal organs, hair, reproduction. That's not it doesn't just determine that. It determines your behavior, your mindset. Because see, no one is teaching nature no one is teaching an elephant how to be an elephant. But if an elephant needed to learn how to be a monkey, then someone would need to teach it that, because it's not born to be a monkey, it's born to be an elephant. So you can take that same analogy and you look at that with us. We're honeybees pretending to be flies. And the only way we can learn to be flies is that we have to be taught by someone to be a fly. So, and because we're honeybees pretending to be flies, we are not reaching our full potential. We're not growing. So, but I want you to listen to what she has to say about the chimpanzees, their characteristics and their behavior, because this is where the manipulation come in at, and then the violence come in at. And also the fact, why would she say that humans share 98.7% of their genetic makeup with chimpanzees or monkeys, for that matter? And if it's not true on a world stage, and why wouldn't no scientists or biologists or geneticists correct her with that? Anyway, I just want you to listen to this real fast. The psychological state. Listen to when she starts to break down how they interact with one another. Very violent. They even eat their own young. But listen.
100% of our DNA, but watching them, two chimpanzees greeting, they'll embrace and kiss and hold hands and pat one another. A chimpanzee who's frightened and needs reassurance will go up to a dominant one and probably be embraced or gently patted. The lovely relationship between mothers and their growing offspring that can last to a life of up to 60 years in the wild. They use and make tools. That was the big observation that changed everything, because it was thought humans and only humans used and made tools. So sadly, they can show brutality. They can kill. They have a kind of primitive war. But also, like us, they can show love and compassion and true altruism. And
so now, if you go back again, I'm rewind that. She said they have a somewhat of a primitive war. What is the kind of primitive war that they would be having amongst each other? So I'm gonna play it again. Listen.
So you're 90 this year?
Yes, I'm 90. Just imagine 90 years on planet Earth. What changes I've seen.
Let me take you back to the past and ask you, when you went to Gombe and you started to live with the chimpanzees, what are the lessons you learned from that? If you were to summarize, that's such an unusual experience none of us have had. Give us a sense of what you learned.
First of all, it was amazing and exciting because nobody had done it. I was the first one. And the first thing that emerged was, gosh, how like us they are. I mean, we didn't even know then that we share 98.7% of our DNA. But watching them, two chimpanzees greeting, they'll embrace and kiss and hold hands and pat one another. A chimpanzee who's frightened and needs reassurance will go up to a dominant one and probably be embraced or gently patted. The lovely relationship between mothers and their growing offspring that can last to a life of up to 60 years in the wild. They use and make tools. That was the big observation that changed everything, because it was thought humans and only humans used and made tools. So sadly, they can show brutality. They can kill. They have a kind of primitive war. But also, like us, they can show love and compassion and true altruism.
Right, and that's where the manipulation come in at. Some of us are love and compassion. So we didn't all enslave you, and we have primitive wars again on the planet. Who God is the best? Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, fighting over the natural resources on the planet. You know what I mean? This is my land. I was here first. How did you come here? All through lies, manipulation, and brute force. Once again, your genealogy is directly connected to your psychological state. Understand and understand, my people, the nature of the people that you are dealing with and what is true evolution. This is not evolution at all. This was a species that was put together in a makeshift cul-de-sac by an intelligent species on this planet that's not as intelligent as us, but is intelligent on this planet. And they use these people as a smokescreen to do their bidding, to get the resources off this planet, as well as genetic material, try to usurp the genetic material out of the so-called black woman and her children, to try to surf and navigate the stars, to try to get off of this planet and move throughout the cosmos. But that is not happening.
Reason that white people in the United States or anywhere we are, in Europe, in Africa, in Australia, in Israel, wherever we are the colonizers. We are the colonizers, and we live off the expense of the assault, Europe's assault on Africa, the kidnapping of African human beings, the trafficking, all of these things that we hear today. This is where it came from. Hundreds of years of assaulting and stealing everything that African people and Africa as a continent had, and putting it into the hands of white people. And so this is why, as the chairman has said, the true class struggle, the true working class in the world is the African and colonized working class, not white people, because all white people, and you know this is true. You and I know this is true by just living our lives and seeing it. All white people sit on the pedestal on the backs of African and indigenous people. And, you know, the statistics are that even the only reason.
So let me make this very clear. See, when you're able to let this out like this, your life is a whole lot more better. And you're not looking for your life to be better externally, because that's not where life starts at for you to be better. It starts internally. So she is at peace with herself, telling the truth and walking in her truth. You see? But all the rest of you that use cognitive dissonance, that are benefiting from the suffering, the genocidal acts, the scientific experiments on women, children, and men. And you look around this planet today and you are afraid that the ozone layer is being removed at such a rapid pace. The intensity of the sun has increased. The changes on the planet as far as earthquakes, weather anomalies, has increased exponentially. Famine is starting to kick in on this planet. Famine. Viruses and diseases are next because of the frequency of the sun, and more importantly, because you as a species collectively, individually and collectively refuse to acknowledge the fact that your lifestyle that you are living today is directly off the blood of yesterday, of women, children, and men, the organic species of this planet. Every one of you is benefiting from the destruction of so-called black people. Every last one of you. And it's not just the white race, it's the Asian race, it's every species. And even our own brothers and sisters have adapted this mentality to capitalize off our own self-destruction. Even those that come at you and speak black power talk. You have to watch those first. Understand and overstand what your brother, what your angelic benevolent being brother is telling you. Understand what I am saying and overstand what I am saying to you, mother of humanity. Everything that we are living today is a direct result of genocidal abuse. From 1619 to 1719, they have murdered over 274,000 women, children, and men on this planet. Women, children, and men. They wiped out 2 continents with venereal diseases alone. That is disgraceful. That's 1.9 million a week from Sunday to Sunday. That's how much killing and slaughtering took place. And those very genes, that very bloodline, is at hell bent on educating your children, psychologically and medically evaluating your children, policing your children, having your children in their economic system, having your children playing football, basketball, entertaining them. They are hell bent on that, telling you that you will be an unfit parent if you don't bring your child to their medical facilities to get examined. When they fed your children to crocodiles, when they fed our babies to crocodiles. This is why the so-called real angelic so-called black man is upset today. I don't know nothing about these boys that's whining on here or over the internet about other bull crap. This goes back to genetics. Everything, every problem that is plaguing so-called black people, from depression, anxiety, to physical health, heart disease, viruses, STDs, everything goes back to genetics. And we are being poisoned by our abusers. And we have accepted, or we have developed what you call Stockholm syndrome. We have separated ourselves from our own people and our abuser, to the point we turned our back on our people and we have accepted our abuser. This is wrong. And this is why right now, Mother Universe, Father, Son, in the sky, that says enough and is enough. We are going to separate, and in the process of them separating, the truth will be revealed. The truth, and then you will make the choice on what life you choose to live. Abundance and gratitude.
Did you see him fall from the thing? Oh my God, they making a formation.
What the fuck is this going?
We seen him drop out of a fucking mothership that just flew away, and these things.
And now they're forming shapes.
Oh my God, we fucking watched it drop out of the fucking ship. Oh my God. Oh my God, what the fuck is this?
I can't make this up, cuz. Y'all share this shit right now. Share this motherfucking shit, cuz. I can't make this shit up, cuz. Now, I'm currently downtown Denver. I'm in Colorado, cuz.
Where they say the airport. Listen, do your research.
With y'all own eyes, y'all see I am not making. That's why I went live instead of recording.
This is fucking insane.
I cannot make this up. Now, what the fuck is this low one doing? You see it down there low. What's this one doing down there?
All right, now I'm going to cut the volume off.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut the volume off, and I'm going to speak about this. Now, I'm going to tell you what happened, because when they was recording, they recorded it after the bigger ship left. What happened is a larger ship came, and it let out these 4 individuals. These 4 individuals are scanning the Denver airport, and they're scanning beneath the Denver airport, as far as the underground tunnels. This is what's going on right here. This is why they're red too. See, when they're red, like that's why we change colors. They change colors consistently, but they're just red because this right here is about battle. This right here represents war. So we're not coming here to laugh and joke. We come in here to observe and see what you have done, the tunnels you have dug, where they lead to, and we observing as things are taking place. And if we want to intrude with something, we are going to intrude. So that's why you saw the 3. First of all, when they came out the ship took off. Then they come out a little bit, and now they're communicating with one another. They're literally speaking to one another. Who's going to take the head? Who's going to watch what? Who's going to pay attention to what who's going to do? And they're not just surveying the beneath the surface of the airport, but they are surveying the entirety of their surroundings. They're not concerned with your military. They're not concerned with rockets, missiles, and none of that. Actually, everyone else is concerned with them being there right now. The underground scientists, the underground entities that are there, the transportation of women, women and children, the organ harvesting, the sex trafficking. Yes, this is Denver Airport. Call it whatever you want, and they're scanning beneath. The surface of the planet means absolutely nothing. I've been saying this for quite some time. Shout out to Big Heart Forever for posting, for sharing this video, and shout out to the brother and sister who was recording the video, because I told you this is going to increase exponentially. You know what I'm saying? There are 3 phases of this that's getting ready to kick off, and the first phase is total chaos that has to kick off in order to introduce AKA savior, angels, entities that has intelligence, that can speak but look like what they describe to you in the Bible, angels with wings, but they're not. They've been here for a long time. They've been here. They're connected to that fake royal family in that moon. They've been here for quite some time, and I've been saying this. And how do we know this? Because how did the eukaryotic cell organism get here? How did the so-called white man, Asian man, Arab man get here? How did the eukaryotic cell organism get here? How did the dog get here? How did these species get here on this planet? How did species that 2 different species that doesn't naturally reproduce with one another all of a sudden genetically take their DNA and fuse it with one another and make one living organism? That is not natural. So it's something that's here, and it's been here for quite some time. And it's now here. See, this is why when you see that video, 1 went all the way down, the 3 was up in the sky completely observing, and while 1 was down there taking data and information. That's what it is.
So when it comes to the aurora borealis, in fact, some of these solar storms can actually disrupt and even damage technology on Earth. The Carrington event happened in the year 1859, stands as the strongest observed solar storm in modern human history. Now, that caused a lot of problems. It's back when we had the telegraph, but we almost had one in 2012. Earth narrowly missed that one. So if or when it happens, a solar storm that impacts the globe could become a $2 trillion disaster, because it is a magnetic energy that comes through with these storms, and that's where we could have problems. If it were to occur, it might take a decade for us to recover. Some of the destruction of communication infrastructure could bring about the end of the internet. You heard me right. This idea was actually explored by a UC Irvine student. She researched the potential in her paper entitled Solar Superstorms, Planning for an Internet Apocalypse. One of the greatest dangers facing the internet with the potential for global impact is a powerful solar superstorm. Well, the federal government has actually assigned a team of scientists at George Mason University $13 million to study this potential internet apocalypse and keep us away or help us prepare for dealing with some sort of solar storm that could cause this. Let's bring in the principal investigator for the project. Professor Peter Becker is at George Mason University. Peter, solar storms causing the internet apocalypse. That sounds like a worst case scenario. What does it look like?
Yeah, well, as you pointed out, it's been in the news a lot lately. There have been articles all over the place, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post. But yeah, the idea is there have been a lot of flares. Flares are when the sun brightens and we see the radiation. And that's kind of the muzzle flash. And then the cannon shot is the coronal mass ejection, as you mentioned. So we can see the flash, but then the coronal mass ejection can go off in some random direction in space. But we can tell when they're actually going to head towards Earth. And that gives us about 18 hours of warning, maybe 24 hours of warning before those particles actually get to Earth and start messing around with Earth's magnetic field. So, yeah, you mentioned the Carrington event in 1859. There was actually also a big flare in Halloween of 2003. And so the Carrington event actually was a coronal mass ejection that did reach Earth, and it totally wiped out the telegraph system. So the telegraph system was their internet of the day, and sparks were literally flying off the telegraph lines. And there's even rumors that some operators might have even been electrocuted. It was total mayhem, and the system went down for a matter of weeks. And of course, a telegraph system infrastructure is very robust compared to the modern internet with all our little cables and fibers and things. So an event like that occurring now is something the internet is not built to handle. So we're talking not just the electrical grid, but huge economic consequences, especially because of the global wired economy now. So yeah, if it happened now, if the Carrington event happened right now, we're talking $10 to $20 billion per day of damage to the U.S. economy alone. and possibly weeks to months to repair the infrastructure, because you're talking about all those little electronics closets and all the office buildings basically getting fried and hardware having to be replaced.
It's not just.
Now, here we go, my people. Now, the Carrington event was a result of what? A coronal mass ejection, CMEs. And when I be telling y'all go outside to get them CMEs, the sun has never been more active in their history. Coronal mass ejections are consistently coming off the sun and blasting the entire solar system. Now, let's start with this, right, people. Now, the solar system is made of quadrillions, trillions, children's, quadrillions, and you can add even more quadrillions of atoms in the universe. Now, atoms are composed of protons, neutrons, and electrons. What is the largest atom in the solar system? The sun. Now, the sun produces energy that bonds with other atoms, and atom bonds with other atoms and molecules and start to form what you call gases, liquid, and then something solid, us. So now my people, so-called black people, possess, or not necessarily possess, what we truly are, neuromelanin. We are condensed sunlight. We produce atom. Our bodies are made of trillions and trillions and trillions of atoms. So when I say you must have the blood of the sun and the consciousness, the awareness of the entire solar system, neurons matches each star inside the Milky Way galaxy plus more. And neurons hold abundance of information. So when I tell you, my brothers and sisters, that the sun is active and every living organism on the planet is actually mutating. What are you mutating into? What are you mutating into? UVA, UVB has increased exponentially. This is up in the north, where the sun is now technically in the south. UVC radiation is now on the ground. It is a detoxifier, a germ killer, a mutating wavelength. It is altering and changing the atom molecule that is the smallest building unit of the cell. So the atom is changing, the cell is changing. If the cell is changing, then the organ is changing. And this is what all their scientists and all of them are afraid of. This is why they're trying to go underground, and that's not safe because that's getting shut down. This is what's taking place. This was on the New York Post. This was on Time Magazine. They spoke about this. And now it's coming to mainstream news. Why? Because the sun is even more active. The ozone layer is thin. And they are all going to there's this dark shadow government that they are setting everything up to be so they can welcome in the eukaryotic cell, the creator of the eukaryotic cell, Pindar, Moloch, the Dragon King, Dracula, the Prince of Darkness, all that shit that's connected to that fake royal family and that moon. They want total chaos on the planet. This event that's going to take place is going to bring total darkness to the entirety of the planet. There will be no rebuild of this world because you're not going to be able to do it. Lack of food, lack of resources for some people. People going to be panicking because it's going to be pitch black dark. The ozone layer is going to be removed, and then you're going to start to see more light is going to come into your eye, and you're going to see that which was hidden from you. I told you this. Now everyone is trying to get on top of this because you know why? It's pointless to talk about what went on yesterday. Slavery, the police brutality. These people were designed to be brutal to you. You were designed not to follow them, not to be a follower. Abundance and gratitude to all.